Hi. I wanted to take a quick look at Genkit JS version 0.5.8 that came out just a few days ago. So looking at the changelog here, one of the new features kind of noted in here is the added support for Llama 3.1 405b via Vertex Model Garden. I guess it's not mentioned in these release notes, but at the same time it was Llama 3.1. Various model sizes was made available through Llama as well. So you can see it here on the Llama model library. So 3.1, Llama 3.1 is an impressive model. So like if you look at the Meta's blog post, and you can find other articles across the internet with a lot of benchmarks, they certainly look impressive in comparison to other state-of-the-art models. So, yeah, like as mentioned here, like it was also made available through Google Cloud Vertex Model Garden. But so it's mentioned here that's only 405b is currently made available as a fully managed endpoint, but they mentioned that 8b and 70b support is coming soon. It's definitely one of the most convenient ways of accessing models if you need them deployed and available in production. So, I mean, like, I was thinking, like, maybe we can spend a little bit of time and play around with these models. And one of the best ways to play around with models is through a chat interface. And conveniently, Genkit has a chatbot in its samples here provided, and it's a very easy sample to use. So you just, there's some prerequisites. You set up some CLIs and enable models, and like you log in. If we're going to be using Vertex AI models, you just clone the repository and you just run npm run setup and npm start, and you should get a functioning chatbot here. So let's just go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and just cloned it, and I ran through the setup, and I made a couple of tweaks. I added Llama 3.1.8b through Llama. That sample does not included by default. I might just go ahead and like send a PR to do that, but right now it's only out of the box has Gemini 1.5 Flash and Llama 3.1 405b through Model Garden. So, but we're going to go ahead and just run npm start in this chatbot sample folder. Maybe just like a quick look here, and we're just looking at the configuration. Like if you're not familiar with what this all this configuration is, there's getting started with Firebase Genkit video that you can watch, and we'll give you a little bit of introduction. But here you just basically see like in configuration we have Llama, we have 3.1.8b pointing to my local Llama server running locally. And we also have the Vertex AI plugin. Then we have Llama 3, which is actually Llama 3.1. So and the actual chatbot implementation is pretty trivial. That's all there is to it. It's just basically like this chatbot flow reads messages like history, the conversation history from a history store, which is just basically stored in memory. Every time you restart the server, it's going to get wiped out. And then we just make a generate call, which is send the current prompt, add the history, and just pick the LLM. Dynamically just switches the LLMs depending on the one selected in the UI. We're doing streaming. And then as the last step, we're just saving it to history. Right? There's really nothing too complicated here. Let's go to this UI. And here we see, this is running, this is an Angular app. Angular front end that talks to the app running Genkit that can return all the models that it has available and do the chatting. So here let's start with Llama 3.1.8b, and we have a pre-populated default prompt here. It's just to write a function that adds two numbers together, and this is trying to talk to Llama. Yeah, there we go. So, feels pretty fast. Llama is streaming is like streaming per token, so like it appears pretty smooth when it's renders on the screen. So yeah, this looks correct. Writing some documentation is pretty nice, and we can actually go and ask it to unit tests. This is pretty impressive for a tiny model that runs here locally on my machine, and I don't have a powerful GPU or anything. This is just a Mac, so pretty nice. And I guess if we just refresh, we can pick a different model here. We can throw the same request to 405B, which for 405B it's not going to be a problem. It is it's a massive model. So, and actually, let's throw a different thing at it. Like say, explain in French. Pretty nice. Actually, curious to see if the 8B can do the same thing. We can say write this, but in French. Okay. Yeah, so it is writing code in French, but it's still explaining in English. Okay, that's fair enough. Still pretty impressive for a tiny model. Yeah, pretty nice. But I'm not going to be doing a model comparison here. You probably can find a lot of other videos. That's not the point. I just wanted to show that it's you can these models are available through Genkit, and if you want to quickly play around with them, there's a pretty easy way of doing that. But while we're here, I also wanted to show, that as part of the sample, it is running the Genkit tooling here in the background. Like we can actually see these models. So this is in the 3.1.8b. We can just say hi to it from the UI here, or we can go inspect these runs here. So we can look at our latest run with 8b, and we're asking it to write a function that adds two numbers together in French, and this was the response. And we can see that there's a retrieved history, ran it through an LLM, and saved the history. So this is you can kind of explore how all of this is running in the background, yeah. So this is Llama 3.1. So go check out the documentation, play around with it. So in documentation, you basically, if you want to play around with like the larger 405B through Model Garden, you can find the documentation in the Vertex AI plugin. Here you can see instructions how to set it up, and if you want to try it out through Llama, here's the Llama documentation. It's like all you need to do is just kind of replace the name here. When you download the model, like it's going to be like this is going to be the model name, and you just pass it in here in the model name, and you should be able to use it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.